All right, I think everyone is in. Yeah, welcome everyone. Really excited to have you all here today. Welcome to our launch event. My name is Raj. I am co-founder and CEO of Meaningful Work, and I'm joined here by our CEO, Liju Huang, to present our launch event today. Um, if you don't mind muting yourselves right now until the speaker panel, that would also be awesome too. I think there's some background noise. Uh, Sweet. All right, yeah, let's get started. So before we actually get started, I would like to acknowledge the land upon which I'm speaking today, which is the stolen and unceded territory of the Tsleil-Waututh, Lumi, Wasanic, Katsi, Stolo, and Semiahmoo First Nations. And I'd like each of us to take a moment and reflect upon the land where you are located today and what that means to you and any acts towards reconciliation that you can take moving forwards. Thank you. So a bit of housekeeping and accessibility. I'd like you to know that live auto-generated captions are available and you can turn them on or off using that little arrow beside the CC button. So you can hit hide or view show subtitle down there. We encourage you definitely to keep your camera on and engage in the Q&A and discussion. However, you are also welcome to turn your camera off if you need to and use the reacts to participate as well. We will be recording the session. If you do not wish to be recorded, please do turn off your camera. Again, it'll only record the active speaker. So don't worry. And if you do want to speak and not be recorded, you can just keep that camera off when you are speaking. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. And we'd love to get to know who you are and just welcome yourself to everyone else. And when we say nonprofit, we are referring to registered charities, registered nonprofits, and not-for-profit initiatives. And finally, if you're having any technical issues, please do message in the chat as well. And we can, Aaron is our technical moderator today, and he'll be able to resolve those. All right, so today we'll be sharing a bit about the story and vision at Meaningful Work. We'll go into an awesome panel discussion that we have planned. We'll talk a bit about skilled volunteering and what that means, and talk about the next steps in terms of engaging your organization. So I'd like to run a little check-in of who's in the room just to get an idea of what your backgrounds are. Aaron, would you mind starting the poll for everyone? Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'll take a couple minutes just to see where everyone's coming from. Awesome. Yeah, I think we have a really cool mix of people here today. And yep, hi everyone who's introducing themselves in the chat. Cool. So I'd like to tell you a bit about Meaningful Work and our story. Our journey started in February 2020 when a few of us came together to look at some of the deeper challenges in our society, especially those faced by nonprofits adapting to the new normal of the pandemic. We started off at the SFU Venture Connection Incubator, where we assembled a small team of changemakers from diverse disciplines and ran our first pilot, where we were able to match 20 professionals and 20 nonprofits to engage with what they're good at. We did everything manually and had a really great experience. We were able to connect a marketing director to a small nonprofit working on social uplifting, and we're able to help them with their marketing strategy. Connect an HR manager to a small environmental focused nonprofit running their first virtual recruiting. So we're really excited to share some of those impact stories and see the tangible impact that everyone can create. Since then, we've built a smart online platform to help volunteers find their perfect opportunity, for nonprofits to recruit high quality individuals, and for companies to easily engage their employees in community impact. We've had over 100 nonprofits join our beta and currently have over 100 volunteers, and have just gotten our first few companies and 2 professional networks on board as well. It's not been without challenges, and for that, we're immensely grateful for the support of our partners and everyone who has given us feedback along the way. It's been incredibly helpful. And we've built an amazing team who are ready to support the community that we've built through meaningful work. Our mission is really to spark purposeful connections, and our vision is to enable people and organizations to give back better to their communities, helping people find purpose and celebrate the measurable impact that they can create. Our platform is a gateway to hundreds of nonprofit opportunities that are aligned with your goals and passions. And what this means is being able to helping you discover that perfect volunteer opportunity whenever you're ready to volunteer. It's also a place where people can learn about the defining issues of around the world and take action, or help out with a deep need in their local community. Of course, with the option of inviting your friends and colleagues to join you along the way. And we also offer a solution for companies, which my colleague Liju will get into today. However, individuals can sign up today for free to volunteer, and as a nonprofit, you can also join for free and into our community of 100 organizations and start posting opportunities. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our moderator, Sherrod, and Sherrod will be leading our panel discussion today. So Sherrod is an award-winning storyteller and documentarian. He's the founder of Human Biography, a Vancouver-based content agency. Sherrod has documented people like the Dalai Lama, Meryl Streep, Arianna Huffington, and many leaders and CEOs from all over the world. He is a co-founder of the Indigenous Collective, where he collaborates with the Indigenous community, directing and producing video projects that capture First Nations stories and culture. He holds a master's degree in communications. Sherrod is currently on the board of the Laurier Institution, Live Big Society, BC Cancer, and is the president of the Vancouver chapter of the Indus Entrepreneurs. So I'd love for everyone to welcome Sherrod to the stage and get our panel started.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Raj. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Hope everyone can hear me okay. I want to first thank Liju and Raj and their team for such a great opportunity to talk about elevating people and purpose for an engaged company culture. And that actually reigns true with the people that I work with, the companies, organizations, thought leaders, and then our esteemed panel. I want to welcome Erica, Fanny, Shirley, and Katie today, and let's just get started. And so the format today is going to be a great conversation. We're going to have some time with these fabulous folks, and we're going to hear more about their thought leadership in their companies and in their industry. So first thing I'm going to have everyone do, and then I'll just, there'll be no specific order, I'll just sort of go. I'd like everyone to tell me a little bit about their role, their company, and what volunteer culture currently looks like at their organization. And just looking at my screen, I'll start with Katie, and Katie, maybe you'll start, and then we'll move on. So Katie, go ahead, yeah, and welcome.
Thanks, Sherrod. Thank you. Happy to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie. I am the Sustainability and Social Impact Manager at Fix. Fix is a cloud-based maintenance software based out of Toronto, and it's my role to integrate sustainability and social impact into everything that we do. We are a proud certified B Corp. We are also net zero, and we're continually looking to build a more inclusive, responsible, and sustainable business. When it comes to our volunteer culture, I thought this was an interesting question because culture can sometimes be pretty intangible, but I come back to this idea of integration and what does it look like to integrate it into the organization? And I think that's what we've tried to do since day one, 5 years ago when I first started. And it's to embed it into everyone's objectives. So volunteering at Fix is really about yes, it's about giving back, but it's also about your annual performance at the end of the year. How do you incorporate social and environmental objectives into your corporate objectives and your work goals? So the culture is is engaged without a doubt, but I would say integrated as a part of everyday work and everyday life.
Oh, thank you for that response. Fanny, come on down. We'd like to hear more from you. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Fanny Laguna. I work for Sage. Sage is a technology company. We're a SaaS business, and we have a Sage Foundation for 5 years now. I would say when it comes to volunteering, it's a very strong culture of volunteering. It's so much that I'm not enough to provide all the volunteer opportunities my colleagues would like to have. When it comes to volunteer, it's in everybody's key performance indicators, from our CEO at the global level to our regional managing directors to directors in every level. All employees is part of our performance goals, do a certain number of days of volunteers in the year. I have to say, before the pandemic, we were doing dozens of volunteer events every month with different organizations, and we always had wait lists for these events. It was honestly heartwarming and overwhelming at the same time. When the pandemic hit, we all know things changed quite dramatically. So in the last year, we have done more other types of volunteering, but again, the engagement has been incredible, not only volunteering, I do have to say in fundraising as well. So from my side, from Sage, I have to say I'm always impressed by what my colleagues do in terms of volunteering.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Fanny. Erica, welcome from Unbound. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Finley, and I'm based in Vancouver, and I work for Unbounce. For those of you who aren't familiar with Unbounce, we're a Vancouver-based marketing technology company, conversion intelligence marketing tech company, and we've got 250 employees that are distributed across the world. We have an office in Berlin, and yeah, we have folks all over this wonderful globe of ours. And volunteer culture at Unbounce has evolved. It has shifted and changed. We are we're 10 years old, grew from being a startup to now being in scale up. And the average tenure of a tech employee is about 18 months. So when we look at the change in our culture, and I'm looking at Unbounce right now, it's like Unbounce 3.0 in the last 5 years that I've been there. And even though we have volunteering as part of one of our highest corporate priorities, as part of our commitment to our 1% pledge, we've pledged 1% of our profit, our people's time, our volunteer hours, and our product. It is something that has evolved and changed depending on the culture of our organization, and is really tied to people's level of engagement with the organization. And that includes just kind of having a pulse and a finger check, pulse check on our people and how they're doing. So we've got more formal programs that they can participate in, whether it's working deeply with our not-for-profits and setting up kind of a formal time where we do a hackathon and give a full day to an organization like Peace Geeks, or whether or not it's supporting them in taking a day off, paid day off to volunteer. But again, kind of going back to that pulse check, people are tired this year, and having a conversation with them about their work and then an ask around volunteering is something we've been really conscious and cognizant of. So some folks have so much time, and they're at home and they're looking for volunteer opportunities. And so we're serving those individuals within the organization, but then the other organizations that are caring for themselves or their families, they don't have that time. And so it's figuring out other ways for them to get involved, or to let them know that, hey, those opportunities will be there in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. Welcome, Shirley Loy from Traction on Demand. Please talk a bit about culture and your role. Yeah.
Thank you. So for those who don't know, Traction on Demand is a Salesforce consultancy. I've been with the organization for about 3 years now, and started my career in the nonprofit sector. Did everything from fundraising to events, and love that world. Traction is a B Corp as well. We're a proud B Corp since 2013, and we have also recently pledged the 1%, where we are pledging to give 1% of our revenue, time, and product. And I would say volunteering culture at Traction, we formally launched our Time for Good volunteer program just about 2 years ago, where every Tractionite receives 2 paid days to give their time. We have a saying here that we give what we're good at, and we give to causes that are closest to our people's hearts. So our goal is to have every Tractionite be a philanthropist, whether that's their time, their talent, or their treasure. It is much like what Katie said. For us, it is about corporate social integration and less about corporate social responsibility, because we don't believe that social impact is just our responsibility. It really should be integrated and weaved into our business. So I'd say our Tractionites are very much engaged with how we give, and they are the ones who tell us where they feel we should give our dollars as well.
I'm starting to hear that people have in their companies names for their sort of their staff, like, you know, unbouncers. Is that right at yours, at Unbounce? And then what was the term you used, Shirley, right now?
Tractionites.
Tractionites. There we go. Okay. Well, okay. So what I want to do is engage with a few questions for everybody here. And so we'll start with Katie. Katie, when did you start sustainability and social impact at Flix? And how did you do it? How did you start?
Yeah, so I have a very similar story to Erica as well, because Fix was a startup, I would say 5 years ago when I started in 2016. So I was brought on to do corporate social responsibility of a company of less than 20 employees. I would say I was employee 15 at the time. And I was brought in before HR. I was brought on the same day as the VP of sales. There was no sales team. And there really wasn't a blueprint for growing companies to embed social impact into the organization, at least at this time. And so what we really wanted to do was not only build it out for ourselves, but also show others how we were able to do it. And what we decided to do was, first and foremost, adopt a corporate purpose so that we were working towards something other than just generating profit, because we spend so much time together. We spend more time with our colleagues than we do with our families. And there has to be more reason than just to make profit at the end of the day. And that's when we adopted a corporate purpose and report ourselves against the triple bottom line. So people, planet, and profit. And we used B Corp and our certification, just like Traction on Demand, to guide the way to develop a roadmap of generating better policies, better programs, not just for our employees around employee engagement, benefits, and the like, but also our environmental footprint as a tech company. How are we engaging with our customers and creating a better narrative so that they can be champions of sustainability within their own organizations? We look at our governance structure. How are we maintaining integrity? And this has been really important because in this time, we have raised 3 rounds of funding, and we were recently acquired in December of last year. So it's been a real growth journey from 20 employees to 200, integrating impact in the process, but also maintaining it through the acquisition. So we're currently undergoing our B Corp recertification under this new Rockwell Automation brand.
Super, thank you so much. I think there's a lot to learn from that, you know, and I want to actually, I'll ask Fanny a question here. So Fanny, how do you remove barriers to encourage your employees to give back? Like, what is that engagement piece that you make sure that people can like feel like people are just so in their silos of actually just doing their job? So how do you encourage your employees to give back? Is there incentive, or are people just upfront ready to do it? What have you seen, and how does that work in your own organization?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I would say I don't have a one sentence answer. That's what keeps me up at night some days. How do I engage people? That's the core of my job, actually, to expand the programs that we have. But the answer is find what people are interested about. So not everybody wants to give to the same. Some people are interested in skills-based volunteering, and they are willing to be guest speakers for a nonprofit. They're willing to help a nonprofit put together an event. Other people want to go to a food bank and help, distribute the food. Other people want to do a cleanup. We have seen in the last year that people want to volunteer with their family members. So we're coming up with volunteer events that include family members. And then you see these people going out on a trail and cleaning garbage, and they have their 3 kids doing that with them. Or sometimes they're senior parents doing that, like writing letters to soldiers or to seniors that are living by themselves. So again, to me, the one key is know who people are interested in and give choices. So in 1 month, we may have an event that supports military veterans. And then we have another event that supports a nonprofit organization that works with women, and another one that supports youth. So it's having that variety that I think is the key. And I have to say another piece is you cannot always do that, but especially in the last year, we need something that will take us away from our day-to-day jobs. Because with so many people working from home, there is not a clear barrier between I finish work, now this is my home life. It's those hours extend and blend. So if you can give people something that would disconnect them from work completely, people take advantage of that, right? Writing a card, going outside, going for a 5K to raise funds, that's completely different to what you do on your day-to-day. So that encourages people to join.
Awesome. Shirley, same question. How do you get people to get engaged at Traction on Demand?
Yeah, we do it in a couple of different ways. I'd say our biggest successes have been through our impact ambassadors. And so within each of our teams, we have internal and social impact champions who really support and rally behind the work that we're doing. And when we launched in 2019, we actually leveraged this group of impact ambassadors to encourage their teams to give back, and had 62% of our workforce give their time at some point during the 2019 year. So that was really exciting. We've also started to curate our own in-house opportunities where Tractionites can give what they're good at. So we have partnered with Mosaic in creating a Salesforce enablement training program. It's a 3-week training program. This most recent cohort that we actually had about 50 of our staff members give their time over the 3-week span. And so really just seeing the successes of how we are curating some of these opportunities, and whether it's coding workshops or it's summer camps with children or teaching about philanthropy to kids as well, we've been seeing this be really successful for us.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Erica, there's a story in our actually going back and forth on emails about building relationships, and you putting out chips at events. Can you talk a bit about that and just how that sort of breaks the ice? Yeah.
I was so interested to hear Katie's experience, because we have kind of parallel experiences with fast growing companies, and especially in the early days of Unbounce. I joined around 2016 as well. It was wearing multiple hats, and even though I was working on corporate social responsibility, what we called at the time has now evolved into social impact, I was also doing some recruiting work, a little bit of EA work, PR, internal comms, so wearing many hats. And we had an amazing event space, which I'm missing tremendously right now, and would gather as a company. And I remember snacks were kind of the central hub for everybody to come and gather over. And that ability to put those chips out on a Friday afternoon, people would grab a coffee or potentially imbibe in something else, and make those connections were not only an opportunity to share what we were doing, but to get a read on the company culture and do those informal pulse checks. Because I think gathering that data, if we want to say it, from your employees is important. And getting that understanding of what they care about from an individual level and collectively is key to helping you guide some of those decisions and understanding where you're going to see success. But I think sometimes those are lagging indicators. And so you get more insights, and I'm still figuring out, I think we all are, how to do this over Slack and virtually, how people are truly feeling about their volunteer experiences. We were part of an organization called Brands for Better Foundation, where we gathered together a whole bundle of companies across kind of Vancouver that are committed to seeing zero waste initiatives and environmental initiatives forward. And then essentially it was a zero waste conference and then a hackathon. So 10 unbouncers came to this hackathon 2 weeks ago, spent the whole day hacking. And at the end of it, okay, well, let's survey. What was their experience? Like, how could we do better? And the survey results versus kind of our informal postmortem, I got a better sense of what that day was like for them. And the ways in which we could iterate and do better based on that quick chat over Slack and the text messages versus what they filled out in the formal survey about their experience. So I think
you've kept it going. You've kept it going even in the virtual space, which is quite amazing. Fanny, quick question to you. What are some of the benefits of the employee volunteer program to your company? Like, what are you feeling is sort of the give back as far as engagement and whatnot?
I would say there are so many benefits. They're hard to list in a 2-minute answer. If I may, I'm just going to add something to what Shirley was saying. She mentioned impact ambassadors, and we also have a Sage Foundation ambassador program, and I find that's one of our strengths, because then these are champions. They are your knights in shining armor that would promote all of your events at each of the office locations. I mean, just in North America has 2,500, Sage has 2,500 employees. So that's a lot of people to motivate.
A lot.
And then on the other side, another thing that I have learned that works really well for us is to partner with employee resource groups. So we have groups for women, we have groups for pride, we have groups for Blacks United in Leadership and Development. We're creating 2 new groups for Latin and Asian descent employees. So if you partner with all of them, there is a double motivation for employees to participate in these events. And again, I'm sorry, I'm deviating from that. When it comes to the benefits, honestly, I keep hearing benefits. I get together with people from our talent acquisition, our recruitment team, and they keep saying, I'm finding people that want to work at Sage because of the foundation. It's like amazing. Then I hear people that stay longer at Sage because of the foundation. So it's that retention piece. It's that coming to work because you have your friends at work, because you're feeling good there. I think the foundation and having a positive impact on our communities gives the feel good, I'm doing something bigger than just, a 9-to-5 job.
Awesome. Thank you, Fanny. Katie, how has programming benefited your business?
I can definitely relate to everything that Fanny has said as well. And measuring the success of our programming has been prioritized since day one. So we send out surveys on a regular basis to our employees and our customers and our partners to better understand, is this working? Is it paying off in terms of profit? And what we have found are a number of different indicators. So for example, using this volunteer framework that we currently have, we've allocated over 5,700 volunteer hours in the past 5 years from about 100 employees on average. And 87% of employees say that their volunteer experience was valuable or extremely valuable. So people obviously enjoy what they're doing. We also measure engagement on a bi-weekly basis on a scale of 1 to 10. So how are employees feeling? I think that number has decreased in the past year just because of COVID. But since we started measuring in 2017, the average has been about 8.3 out of 10. Again, trying to put a number against pretty intangible things can be tough, but it can ask questions like, what's your level of stress this week? Do you have really good communication with your manager? And that's all tied into that number there. We also have 79% of new employees coming in. So this is talent attraction. They say that sustainability and social impact influence their decision to join. And 89% state that it influenced their decision to stay. So we have a really great case for continuing with this because employees want it and they care. And it also influences our customers as well. And we've been able to say 6.4% of annual recurring revenue was influenced by our programming from 2017 onwards. And that's because our customers aren't just robots either, turns out. They actually care about things, and it's about building trust and building relationships. People are emotional, that's how they make decisions. And I think that these numbers are important because people like to have like these really solid pieces of data, but ultimately it's the comments and qualitative data that I'm having from one-on-one conversations with people, as you mentioned, Erica, that really support everything that we've done.
Shirley, back to you at Traction on Demand. Have you seen benefits of this type of interaction and programming?
Yes, much like Katie and Fanny, definitely we know that doing good is good for business. We've seen it with our talent retention. We've also seen it with our clients and how we engage with them. More recently, because we were looking at how we grow philanthropists and inspire more philanthropy within our entire network, we've actually developed this idea of purpose projects. So together, our two teams alongside our clients, if we hit certain milestones within a project, we will unlock this to do good. And we can choose how we want to do good, whether that's co-funding other nonprofit projects, it's volunteering together, it's mentorship. There's a menu of options of what we could do, but the idea is still doing good together and collaborating with one another.
This is so awesome to hear. And finally, Erica at Unbounce, what is the benefits for you and your employees there, and in turn business from your programming?
Well, I think, historically and even now, the opportunity to volunteer and get a chance to connect with individuals across the organization is really powerful and meaningful, especially as we are all doing so much work, but it seems as though we're all in silos. So, for example, going back to the hackathon that we recently did, it was across the 3 different business units, and we had our chief technology officer, and we had some folks that are directly working with our customers on a day-to-day basis. And normally the tech teams and the customer-facing teams wouldn't have the chance to interact, let alone work together on a project and volunteer together. So I think that cross-collaboration is really powerful, particularly at this moment. And again, going back to the retention and the employee engagement pieces, I think those are really key, and those metrics are really important. But for us, it's about being intentional about our employer brand and our overall brand. So one of the things that Unbounce was really specific on was that we knew we couldn't be all things to all nonprofits, be all things to everyone, to our employees. And so in 2018, we made a really clear decision to get aligned and get strategic on what social impact was going to look like. And for those of you that are familiar with ESG, environmental social governance, it's a way for organizations to really get a score of kind of the impact that they're having in the world. We knew at Unbounce where we were at and where we wanted to head in the next few years is that we could only really focus and hone in on one thing. So we chose diversity, equity, and inclusion in 2018, early 2019, and we were looking specifically on trying to reconcile some of these injustices and issues we were seeing within our own organization, and realizing that we had a lot of work to do, but that's kind of, we pinpointed where we could start. And one of the things that we examined was our pay gap. So we had significant pay gaps, especially around how we were paying women on our technical teams. And we worked internally to close those pay gaps, to communicate and how we were doing that to the organization. We also found, which was interesting, I like to tell this story, that we looked at the sales team and we were actually paying our sales reps, the women, more than the men. So we adjusted those pay gaps there. So that was a bit of an unexpected find. And once we finished that project, we were starting to get into conversation with other or like-minded organizations and companies of scale and size. And I am incredibly grateful for the network, the social impact network that we have within the BC tech industry. And we were realizing that other companies were facing these challenges as well. And they were saying, hey, how as a 1 or 2 person HR team can I make progress? Can I move on this that I'm seeing? So we had a group of individuals that came together, did a lot of this work off the side of the desk. We consider it to be volunteer work. And then we launched a Pay It for Progress initiative last year, where we challenged tech companies to pledge to commit to pay parity within their organization within 2 years. So we're very excited about that. We've currently got 66 companies that have joined this initiative, and just under kind of 8,000 employees that have had their pay gaps analyzed and closed within the last year. So yeah, so that's kind of, there's a lot of kind of blurred lines between kind of what we're doing with DEI, kind of that internal work, and also the external social impact work. So we know that what we do internally, how we walk the walk, is really important if we're going out externally and we're working with not-for-profits and partners as well to support their causes and what they serve.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And it's a lot to think about for all of us who are leaders in our companies and have some impact that we can actually change and affect change. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. We've been talking for about 20 minutes now, and I know that we have another 6 or 7 minutes left. So, and I know we have some very strong and smart people on this panel. So what I'd love to do is sort of round out with one last question, and for everyone to think about is, and this is more just back to you, is what is the most surprising thing that you've learned as a leader in the social impact space for yourself personally and for your company? And we'll start with Fanny. Yeah.
Well, that's also not a very simple answer. I would say if I had to choose one, I'm always impressed by people. I felt very fortunate to be in this role where you get to meet so many talented people from nonprofit organizations that do such amazing and inspiring work. I get to work with so many people at Sage who have their day jobs, their family, and their 100 responsibilities, but they also find time to either be ambassadors for the foundation or ambassadors for a specific nonprofit. And then I get to meet so many of the clients of those nonprofit organizations with their amazing, impactful stories and their success stories and their, I think that has been the most life-changing experience in general over the years, working with different nonprofits, meeting different people. I'm lucky that I had that on the pandemic to hold on to on those great days. And I would say that's for me the number one piece.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And thank you for taking the time today. Shirley, yourself, what are some of the surprising things that you've learned in your time there?
I would have to echo what Fanny said. It's always been about the people for me and helping our team unlock their why, but also the connection that I've built with nonprofits in the space, as well as the collaboration that I've with other BC tech and other tech companies like Unbounce. So not surprising, but I think it's why it's been so rewarding and why I continue doing what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Katie, yourself.
I echo the sentiments so far. Absolutely. I'm always blown away by the number of people that come to me and say, Katie, the work that has been put together by sustainability and social impact is the reason that I'm here. And, that's always surprising and heartwarming. I would also say, I don't think it's necessarily something that's surprising, but something my CEO told me a long time ago is that you overestimate what you can accomplish in 1 year and you underestimate what you can accomplish in 5. And I think my lesson there is that generating impact is about consistent moves over time. That's what makes it sustainable. And it's been over 5 years now of this programming, and I'm amazed at the impact that we've had in that time. But I remember in year 1, I was like, oh, we have so much work to do. So I think as we start to build these things out, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, but also reminding us that 1 year isn't even that long. And sometimes it just takes building relationships and to generate that impact.
Awesome. Erica, I'll round out with you. Please share something surprising as a leader that you've learned in social impact.
I think what's been surprising to me is the amount of courage that's needed to have real conversations, not only with leaders to advocate the need for resources and to stay strong and firm in sometimes what can be defined as qualitative or like warm, feel good, fuzzy stuff. I mean, we're now starting to see these benefits, and ESG and social impact, these are becoming real roles, but historically this hasn't been the case. And so individuals, pioneers that have been in these types of roles, it's really been about staying brave and knowing that this work matters to not only employees, but to business and to the greater world. For me, I think, yeah, there have been times where I've been in tricky situations where I've seen potentially other organizations we partnered with or we were involved in an event, and there were some mixed matched expectations for not-for-profit partners. I come from a not-for-profit background, fundraising background. I understand the value and the time and the importance of resources for not-for-profits, and I am so protective, maybe to the point sometimes where internally unbouncers are a little bit like, whoa, why is there a need to just so heavily have this project's translated, or this not-for-profit, I guess. They're different industries. And so sometimes it takes a while for partnerships to evolve and to get to that point. And so I think that's probably surprised me a bit in this work, is that sometimes there are those difficult conversations, and sometimes to be honest and upfront and say this isn't going to be a fit, or this is going to be a fit, but we can't deliver on this. And I think that's where you can build the real trust and actually see momentum and see real social impact and change. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Erica. I want to thank you all, Erica, Fanny, Shirley, and Katie, for your time today. This was just a glimpse, of a conversation. We could probably talk for much more time, but this just tells us how important this work is, how great it is to have your expertise and feedback on the things that I spoke about today. But I'm sure there's a lot of more conversations that can be had. And I'm sure there's a lot of people here that would love to connect with you. So definitely, as did I. So I connected with you all through LinkedIn, and I'm sure you can all look for these incredible superhumans on LinkedIn as well. And with that, I want to thank everybody for taking the time today to come and listen to this great panel. It was really great getting to know the four of you, and I hope that we connect again. I'd like to pass the rest of the afternoon off to, or the morning, it's still morning here on my time zone. I'd like to pass it on to Liju, and it was so wonderful talking to all four of you. Thank you so much again. Yeah.
Thanks, Jared. I don't know how to top that. It's like we had the NBA All-Star team of social impact and CSR just present, and here I am having to talk about what we do at Meaningful Work. It's going to be difficult to top that. I'm getting a lot of messages, private messages. I'm getting DMs on Instagram. They're like, Liju, thank you so much for inviting me. I think a lot of students are not only inspired by getting a lot of value, but also learning about what their roles look like, and also people who are looking to help their companies and their organizations engage in this role. There's so much value in the conversation that we just had in the last 30 minutes. I want to kind of shift our attention from the panel to back a little bit to our whole kind of like launch event and Meaningful Work. What we're seeing today is that corporate social responsibility, impact, purpose is no longer a shiny object, nor is it a temporary trend. We're seeing a shift in value where creating an impact is becoming a necessity. 87% of consumers would rather purchase from a company that champion an issue that they care about. And the next generation of employees, millennials in this case, want to work for companies with a pronounced corporate social responsibility program. And I think we've heard a little bit about that from our panelists today. When it comes to us, we're very much focused around creating impact through engagement. We've created a little graph. That's a little fun graph that actually just took about 10 minutes to create. On the y-axis, you can see that we have the impact opportunity. And on the x-axis, you can see that we have engagement over time. And while all these are really important, we found that skill volunteering is the best way to utilize best engage employees and get those engagement rates up, but also get them creating the most impact possible out of their time. So something that we focus around is skilled volunteering, and in the future, hopefully donations and casual volunteering. Benefits of skilled volunteering, I'm just echoing what all the panelists said today. Employees can engage in skill development by developing new and old skills while being exposed to new environments, new challenges, and doing good work in their local communities. This helps increase engagement and retention rates, which we found that it generates about $2,400 value per employee volunteer through increased engagement rates and reduce in turnover. And through the stories you tell and the impact you deliver, it will help strengthen your brand value. This is, marketing team love this, but especially when it comes to hiring, it just makes the process a lot more easier, knowing that if you're an employee, you're working for a good company that wants to give back and also gives you the opportunity to give back in your local community. And at the end of the day, research actually shows that companies with a strong employee volunteer program leads to a stronger bottom line. So engaged employees have 3 times the operating margin and 4 times the earnings per share compared to companies with low engagement, which may be something that you're facing right now due to COVID. There's a couple of options to engage employee volunteers. Kind of the most common one right now is to just allow your employees to find opportunities, but we generally tend to find that engagement rates from employees tend to be a little bit low. Industry average being around 25% during COVID, anywhere between 1 to 5. The second way to do it is you, the program manager yourself, actually reaching out to these nonprofits and developing those relationships. But generally, we found that people in these roles wear multiple hats, and that can get very time consuming, having to build out and develop each of these relationships. There's also other platforms you can check out. There's Benevity, where you can create your own company portal for nonprofits to apply. But we've heard from many nonprofits that it's difficult to apply to 8, 9 different portals and also go back to their local volunteer page and having to remember to close all those opportunities when those opportunities are no longer valid. So that's the Benevity. You guys probably heard of it. They're based out of Calgary. And there's also Catch a Fire based out of the States, very much focused on skilled volunteering like us, but they work with primarily individuals and heavily work around nonprofits. And obviously, it wouldn't be a company launch event if I didn't get a chance to talk about ourselves, meaningful work. So here's a couple of reasons why we think you should engage with us. Obviously, we've took all the benefits and the pros from what I've just mentioned in terms of the options, but we've learned from each single one and kind of developed a platform and program to best serve not only employees, but also those program managers and giving back. We're here to help you create the most impact by engaging your whole organization. So your entire employee base, but also we have a ready to go skill and team-based volunteering opportunities available whenever you need it. So it's not like you have to go out there and do a call for, hey, we're ready to take volunteer opportunities. It's ready to go whenever you're ready. And those opportunities are shared amongst people in our community. And along the way, we want to help you track your impact and tell your story about all the good work you're doing with your employee volunteer program, but also giving back to your community. And I've mentioned this a little bit, but you get a chance to join a community where we believe that we can all give back better. Companies can give back better by giving their employees an opportunity to give back, providing that time and space for them, and allowing them to help build nonprofits, build capacity through skilled volunteering, and then for nonprofits to better contribute in their respective spaces that they work in. And we're here to support you from A to Z. We're here to help you either start we can help you start an employee volunteer program with our guide and consultants. We can help you educate your employees on the program through our lunch and learns, but also engage your employees and teams through features like Meaningful Match, but also the recommendations feature we have available for our program managers. And manage your program and people, of course, through our employees features. And lastly, be able to measure and celebrate the impact through our impact stories and metrics, which allows you to go back to your stakeholders and share some of the ROIs and some of the ones that your organization has been able to have. So this is a kind of a call to action. Like any good event and any good launch event like this one, we want you to come grow with us, come grow with Meaningful Work. We've been working with about 100 nonprofits and a handful of companies, but we're seeking more. Our community is rapidly growing, and we have a pilot program for companies available. It's a 3-month pilot program. All we ask is a minimum of 5 employee volunteers partake in it, and once a month, sit down with us, provide us feedback so we can help you manage the program better and help your employees give better. So by being able to provide us feedback, it helps us grow and better meet your needs. It's only $25 for 3 months. probably wondering like, why is it so cheap? It's really just to help us validate our business model, but also it's also to encourage people who just might be on the fence and may not be too sure. And by joining us, you get to join a network of over 100 nonprofits and a handful of companies in Vancouver, Toronto, and soon Boulder, Colorado. And if your organization is not on board yet and you want to check us out as an individual, feel free to create a free account. It's free for individual volunteers. There's plenty of nonprofits seeking your help and support. And you can join us today through app.meaningfultech.ca. This has been quite a journey for us. It's when me and Raj, Aaron, and some of the other co-founders started, we've been working on this since February. It started with a small idea, and like Raj mentioned, we over the summer of last year, when the pandemic was kind of all at its full blast, we started with pen and paper and with Excel sheets, and I'm quite proud to be where we are at now. Like Raj mentioned, we're a full-size team of 16, and on behalf of our team, I want to say a big thank you for attending and being part of this journey. I see so many mentors in today's event that have just sat down with us, provided us feedback, but also have been a huge supporter of the work that we do. So thank you so much. This means a lot, and being able to see like 50, 60 people at our event, this is huge. One last thing, keep an eye out for some resources and recordings that we'll be sending. But otherwise, I'll close it off here. Feel free to stick around and chat. And I hope you can continue to be part of our journey for many more years. Thank you.